It is the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff. I am Brent Doherty. Blaine Bishop is here. Buck Rising is here. We will be with you until 11 a.m. live from Nissan Stadium outside Gate 3. If you're coming to the game, stop by and see us. Rams-Titans home opener. Blaine Bishop, the hitman. What's going on, man? How are you?
Man, the police just pulled up with the visitors right there. There go those crooks. L.A. Rams right there.
The crooks?
Yep, that's the crooks. So you got to put your mind in the mindset. Those are the crooks.
This is how we start the home season.
Crooks. Yeah.
The crooks are here.
Yeah, see, this is how the hitman, when he puts on the hitman game.
Yeah,
they are the crooks.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's that guy that robbed my mother.
That's right.
Yeah. See that?
That's
see
right.
how that can make you really pissed off?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Let's
that was
go.
the guy all week.
Have some energy about it.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's a big day.
They're trying to take something from me.
They are. And
if not, you just go out there and play patty cake. It ain't a patty cake day, man.
It is a beautiful day, certainly in the Music City. We're looking forward to the home opener, Buck Rising. This is the first home game. What do you anticipate crowd-wise, energy-wise here?
Man, I hope it's good. Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft, is getting his first home start. I think he was pretty excited about what the preseason crowd looked like in that finale there against the Vikings. It was one of the better crowds that, honestly, I've seen at Nissan in a while, just because there is generally an excitement about the young quarterback and how much he can raise the floor of this team, which we'll, again, find out today how much heavy lifting he's going to have to do when we get to the inactives and things like that a little later.
Blaine, let's start there. Cam Ward in the opener at Denver. What was your general takeaway there, and what can he do to build on that?
Man, hey, I was thoroughly impressed just with his leadership, his control. He looked like he had been in the league for a couple years. So I think it's how much can he maybe raise the bar as far as everybody else, or is that even possible? Should they be raising the bar for him because he can only do so much? A little concern this week with the offensive tackle play as well as the injury to Latham.
Yeah.
So that'll be something to watch because you don't want to get him hit a lot like that. 6 sacks, but didn't feel like he got hit a lot like that. So as far as his play, I thought first game, I thought it was you can't ask for much besides the 2 sacks that he went backwards. Other than that, man, as a rookie quarterback, I don't think you can complain about a lot. I'm sure he did in his own critique of himself. Oh, I should have made this throw this time. I should have thrown to this guy. I should have made a better accurate throw, but I was impressed with his accuracy all day long, man. So Buck was there. So, I mean, how impressed were you seeing him live? And, by the way, do you think Tennessee fan base will be as pumped as the Broncos fans? Do you think they'll outdo them?
Well, Mile High, they have Super Bowl expectations, and that's not quite the same tenor here. But I think that the fans are rallying behind their number 1 overall pick. They understand what he's up against. They saw the game last week where he was dealing with drops. He was dealing with an unholy amount of pressure. He was dealing with coaching mishaps as well, as I'm sure we'll talk about today with Brian Callahan. I honestly thought that he handled himself as well as humanly possible, given the circumstance. And the thing, Blaine, that I love about it, and Brent, the accountability in the press conference immediately after the game, and also on Wednesday when we talked to him last about getting ready for this week, he's not too high or too low about any of it. He's the exact same person the whole way through. That kind of temperament, Blaine, on the field bleeds through in the huddle, and I think that so many guys are coming from previous seasons with the baggage of the amount of losing that this team has done in the last couple of years. But I think Cam Ward is doing a really good job, even though he's a rookie, of kind of building those guys back up and making them believe that they're going to be in every game. Because despite all of the things that happened last week, they were still in that game.
They still had a shot, and I thought they would at the end. I actually predicted they'd win. I know you guys thought I was crazy, but 23-20, I thought that the Titans would win in overtime.
Which is how they would have had to have won.
Yeah,
that's how it would have come down, theoretically.
Hey, but I wasn't there, Buck, but you were there. From the TV copy, you're looking at Cam Ward when somebody made a wrong route or he wanted somebody to go somewhere different. He would clap his hands really hard and point and say, no, over here, over there. Oh, man, the leadership qualities.
You love that, didn't you?
I did. It gave me chill bumps because that's exactly what they need. It's just going to matter of time. How much can they rise to get to where he's at already?
And they're going to have to do it quickly, right? They're paid professionals now. Like, that's what it is. Iamaner, DK, Helm, all these young guys, Femi Oladejo, like, they're leaning on first and second year players all over the roster, right? So this this is kind of Cam Ward raising the standard of their performance and being like, all right, Chim, you got to bend that route a little further in to be where I expect you to be.
Or Ridley bend that in and then duck after you catch it.
And I think a lot was made because there's a lot of, and nothing against guys like Dan Orlovsky or Chase Daniel or anything like that, but there's a lot of former quarterbacks in the media that are breaking this stuff down.
Yeah.
And I think they, one, overhyped Cam's performance, and two, made the Titans' performance seem a lot worse around him than it actually was. I saw Dan Orlovsky say 8 drops on the Pat McAfee show. They had 3.
That's a quarterback.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, you have to, it was not as bad as it seemed last week, even though it probably felt bad to the fan base.
Well,
and it was not as good for Cam Ward as I think a lot of people made it after the fact, because we tend to veer to such extremes on this stuff.
Right, well, you got to do it with context.
Yeah.
It was a rookie first regular season game. So that's the lens we're looking from, and we're saying, hey, man, if that's the worst we're going to do, I think that's pretty good. The sky's the limit from here on out.
I think very good for a first game for sure. Lee Company, all you need. Visit them online at leecompany.com. One of the things that Cam Ward talked about in terms of what he learned from that first game was that he needs to get the ball out quicker. Did you see that?
Wow, man, that was – I thought he was getting it out pretty quick, but when you hear all the other times of the other quarterbacks that had success, I mean, there was a lot lower. I think 2.3 to 2.8 or something. I don't know the numbers, but there were times he should have. I'm sure he'll beat himself, but I thought he was decisive. He knew exactly where to go. Whether it was the right place or not, he still was getting rid of the ball pretty quick. I think that's – to me, everything about this game was the bar, especially against an elite – defense. You go, if this is the worst you're going to play, I'm good with this, and we can move forward from here.
The current injury situation, the official designations will be released about 10:30. But
thought you had some breaking news here, man.
Bug Rising is the breaking news guy. Out today, right tackle J.C. Latham. We'll talk about that in just a second. With a hip. Defensive tackle DeFondre Sweat out with an ankle. Khalil Mullins, the running back, and Kevin Winston Jr., the safety, both listed as doubtful currently. Let's talk about right tackle. Latham is out. Gave up 6 sacks last week. Clearly, when Latham came out of the game, those next 12 snaps were not good for the Tennessee Titans offense. What do they do at right tackle?
It sounds like John Ojukwu. At least that's they did this though last year, where they started a game with one player, Blaine, as you'll remember, and then they started rotating tackles.
I had never seen that before in my life.
Not at the professional level, which
right.
We'll see what their plan is today. But Oli Udoh was the reserve tackle, the swing tackle last week. He came in. Titans immediately gave up 2 sacks. Latham wasn't great last week dealing with the hip injury, but there's a clear and obvious drop-off between the number 7 overall pick in the draft and the depth tackles that they have on the roster. So John Ojukwu is the practice squad call-up. They signed Corey Levin to the active roster as well. So we will see whether they end up using any more practice squad call-ups for other offensive linemen. But at this point, I think they're going to try a couple of different things just because they did Udoh or went with Udoh last week. Brian Callahan said, well, don't necessarily marry yourself to that idea. We have some options here. Though they did waive Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, the UDFA, the only UDFA that made the initial roster. That was a roster transaction from yesterday.
Didn't you think that was weird that they cut him and he was a tackle?
Yeah, well, just because of talking to Mike Borgonzi after roster cut day, Blaine, where he's saying you got to be judicious with the math on your cornerback depth and your tackle depth.
Yeah, he did.
On the initial roster, so then you give yourself a little more flexibility as you work your way into the coming weeks. He probably ends up back on the practice squad. Right. I didn't see anybody claim him in the waiver process. So a situation to monitor. Just because he's gone right now doesn't mean he's totally gone.
And to your point, Blaine, let me hit you with this. Coach Mack told us if you get hurt at tackle, you've got a problem. They're just not growing on trees out there, man.
Oh, no. Tackle's an issue across the league, and
everywhere.
I think that's why they kept the undrafted guy. It was just kind of odd. Now that they need a tackle, they cut one. It was just kind of like from the surface looking from behind. Buck's behind the scenes and knows a lot more than I do about the organization. So, yeah, I think your initial question is, what should they do at tackle? The first thing that comes to my mind is pray.
Yeah.
Please pray.
No, seriously.
Pray. I mean, because I am thoroughly concerned. I feel like we're going down the same road as last year, and it's already setting the tone because Latham now was right there. We thought, okay, we got that solidified. We signed an $82 million. At least we'll be at least average. Well, average. That wasn't average. So I'm a little more concerned going in this game on the game plan on how to protect Ward if need be with an extra tight end, running back, even double with guard tackle. I don't know how much you can do that in this game, but, man, I'll be watching that because I don't want to see the quarterback get hit a lot.
Yeah, a couple of things. Obviously, you've had all week knowing that J.C. Latham is out, so you can change, you can alter your game plan
of course,
to kind of assist him, right, which I guarantee you they did that in terms of chipping and all those things. But how does that change past the passing tree? How does that change what you do on offense if you're having to chip with a tight end a lot more than normal?
Well, that's a great question because that's the conflict all the coordinators are going to be battling with. The head coach, who's the coordinator, is going to be battling with, should I leave protection in to help them or should I get them all out? And so you're trying to, guesstimate what they like to do on certain downs and distance, but sometimes, eventually, you're going to be one-on-one. Sorry, that's the NFL. You're going to be one-on-one. And so that's when I get concerned. There's going to be an opportunity, and way more than one, where you're one-on-one with your backup tackle.
When we come back, we'll talk about the other side. Dan Moore gave up a lot of pressures. Does he get better today? Because it's going to be a challenge with the two edge rushers that are coming in here. It is the Lee Company countdown to kickoff. The Titans trust their home stadium to Lee Company to tackle their heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical problems, and they can protect your home too. Your next play, visit LeeCompany.com. Lee Company, all you need. It is the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff. Brent Doherty, Blaine Bishop, Buck Rising. We are with you until 11 a.m. at Nissan Stadium outside Gate 3. Rams-Titans home opener. Kickoff set for noon. You can catch all the action right here on 104.5 The Zone. Lee Company, all you need, visit them online at leecompany.com. All right, we talked about the right tackle. Let's talk about the other side. Dan Moore did not hold up very well in the opener.
Junior.
And now you've got Byron Young and Jared Verse coming.
Oh.
So they're not better than Denver, but, I mean, as a defense, right? The Rams don't have Pat Surtain. They don't have that secondary necessarily.
And that's where Greg Cosell told us that if they could protect for Cam, he could take advantage of the wide receiver secondary matchup.
Well, that would be lovely if they could protect for Cam. I would love to see them protect Cam.
Great.
He said lovely.
That would be swell. Do your job. Well, this is the thing that, and you guys tell me if I'm being dramatic about this, because I could be a little dramatic. But
No, not you ever.
That's why I'm asking for feedback, okay? I'm self-aware. Relax.
That's good.
The head coach, this was Wednesday, getting ready for Rams Week, was talking about the amount of pressure that Cam Ward was under. And he brought, specifically, Cam Ward and then Dan Moore in front of him and how Dan Moore fared in that game. And he mentioned, Nick Bonito just got a big payday. There's a reason that guy's paid that way. And, you're going to have some of those things. It's give and take in a game. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit here. But when he said, well, Nick Bonito gets paid a lot of money to do what he does, and then I looked at Dan Moore's contract, and I said, well, he's paid a lot of money to do what he did, too.
Fair.
I don't want to hear, well, that guy's really good, because you just paid a guy to come in here and be, whatever your level of expectation is. Don't downplay this situation just because the guy across from you has a fat contract, is a very skilled player, because you are paid to go out there and perform on a day-in, day-out basis. And Dan Moore did not perform up to any level of expectation. They were pretty shaky across the board. I don't want to just pin it on Dan Moore.
Right.
Oh.
But given the contract situation, don't bring up expectations for one player based on contract and not expect me to draw that connection between the guy that you're paying a lot of money.
Nick Bonito generated a career-high 9 pressures on 22 pass rushes, including 5 quick pressures, which is 2.5 seconds or quicker, and a sack. 7 of the 9 pressures came against Dan Moore. How much of that is how good Nick Bonito is, and how much of it is that Dan Moore Jr. struggled?
And Blaine, what would you say is fair? Because I don't want to be.
No, I want you to be you.
No, I want to be fair to the guy. But
I completely agree with you. Right now, okay. So if I'm going against some elite receiver, now I'm supposed to back down, and just because he makes more than me and he's a Hall of Fame guy.
Just don't bring it up.
Nah. He's got to perform better than that. That's unacceptable. There's no way, and he better rise this game, or we're gonna be in the world hurt because we can't help both tackles.
Right.
We can't help both.
And that's something Brian Callahan brought up too, right? You're just limiting so much of your offense if you're keeping so many guys out of your route combinations and things like that. And that's what they've had to do the last 3 seasons, regardless of coaching staff or offensive line combination. So we get it. But I think that Bonito, the way that Vance Joseph schemes, and I'm not going to pretend to understand it at a granular level the way that Blaine or Cosell or other people do, but the way that Vance Joseph is able to create one-on-one matchups with the way that he schemes those guys, and how they're able to outright win one-on-one matchups, because they've got those kind of guys too. The Los Angeles Rams also do that, but I think that based on just talking to the coaches this week, Blaine, it sounds like the Rams play a lot more games up front. They stunt, they twist a lot more than maybe Denver needs to or has to based on what they show you pre-snap versus post. So I'm going to be curious to see how they pick that up, because a couple of things that were brought up to us in the locker room after Denver was they were having a hard time hearing out on the field. They're working the silent count anyway. Here the snap count should be to their advantage at home, so maybe they'll be able to clean up those operational things, get a little more right across the board so everybody's on the same page, because I think that's also a big part of it too. They got to be prepared. This is a huge homework game for that offensive line.
Well, yeah, that was definitely going to be a deficit, the crowd noise. And I felt like sometimes the offensive line didn't get off the ball as quick as they needed to and put them in the bind. Well, we all know the crowd will be behind us this game, right? Whether on offense or defense. So I don't think that'll be an issue. And actually, I was really impressed with Cam Ward and how he just handled all of that, because sometimes he was coming out of the huddle and they said that he wasn't even getting the plays. He couldn't even hear the plays sometimes, or getting them in late. So I thought that was a function of operation, and I thought they did a pretty decent job. One thing that was confusing for me was every time they came out of huddle, sometimes it seems like the formation was set on the wrong side, and he had to move guys always to the other side or something. I don't know what was going on. It wasn't the whole game, but there was period of times there where it felt like, that call was made to the right, but because the field is, so he switched it right after they break the huddle. So almost like the play was called to the wrong side. I don't know if that was true or not, or were that individuals not lined up correctly.
From a defensive player standpoint, I was just thinking as you guys were talking about this, it's almost flipped, right? Like in terms of you guys being able to communicate on the defensive side. When you're on the road, the crowd typically is quiet for the offense. When you're at home, it's loud.
Yes. We had to
how
start
does
making
it change for you guys?
Yeah, we definitely had to make hand signals.
Yeah.
So you had to make hand signals on the defensive side because you want them loud because it impacts the game a lot. So, definitely hand signals throughout. But no problem for the offense. I want them to see a little more up-tempo, too, by the offense. Now that you got the home field and the crowd noise, I think that'll be, catch the defense off guard a little bit.
Yeah, because I felt like their game plan was fine.
Yeah.
Before things got out of hand.
I did.
I got what they were trying to do. I think people were frustrated by the amount of running plays without obvious success in that game, Blaine. But they're just chipping away, right? They got to find ways to protect Cam. They can't put him in a drop-back game the entire time, especially against a defense. I mean, guys, the defenses that they're going to face in this first month of the season, at Denver to start, home for the Rams. The Colts are not a bad front, but maybe not an elite front. But then week 4, they're at Houston. They are going to have to test a lot of things out or get a lot of things right to just survive this initial stretch. They've got a lot of things that they have to prove to everybody, including themselves, and I think they're confident in their ability to do that. But the game plan for the Titans last week, it felt like at least a formula that would lead to success had things not gotten out of hand. And much less the turnovers that they weren't able to capitalize on. I mean, we've got plenty of time to talk about.
Yeah, turnovers and penalties.
Oh man, I just like all the things that they hyper fixated on correcting in the offseason just blew up in their face in week 1, and it's only 1 week sample size, and it's the first one, so we all have a outsized reaction to the first thing that we see after a year off or 8 months of football away from football. But they've got to find ways to keep the offense in rhythm. They've got to find ways to get him in rhythm early, just for his level of comfort.
Yeah, how much do you think, guys, that the Titans, and I want to say from last year all the way even to this first game, talking about the penalties, seems like they're always finding ways to, let's just say, lose games instead of finding ways to win games.
That's a theme lately.
So I'm trying to be fair. The season just started, but it seems like that's revved up already with all that kind of emphasis on the off season on penalties and being self-aware and understanding what you're supposed to do and your responsibilities. Now, getting beat physically is one thing, but don't beat yourselves.
That I think is why, because I don't think it's one of those conversations where coming out of the press box, Blaine, I'm like, well, I didn't expect them to win that game at Denver. Like, there's a lot of things that they're up against, but you're looking for certain metrics to grade them by to see, okay, did the offseason program that you put in, was it a success in this way? Did you give yourself enough opportunities to win the game? And again, they covered. They had an opportunity. They were down 1 score at various points. They had a lead at various points. But it's because of the way that they cost themselves that game that you come out more disappointed, or honestly, from at least my standpoint, more critical when you are in that game, in a game that not many of us expect you to be in, but you shoot yourself in the foot multiple times en route to losing by 1 score. Like, I guess that's progress because they're not getting their doors blown off like they were last year, but that still is enough to make you crazy.
And that's with no turnover by Cam.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We'll get into a lot of that as we roll, but you mentioned they actually covered. They were 2-15 last year against the spread. So they're halfway there.
Little victories, baby. Little victories.
Does Calvin Ridley bounce back this week? 4 catches last week. Patrick Surtain obviously on him for 27 of his 32 routes, not targeted for any of the 27. So he gets his 4 catches in the 5 other routes. Does Calvin Ridley bounce back? And as a veteran, how important is that to him this week?
Well, he better. I mean, that there, man, I was stunned, really, that he shut him out like nothing. And then it kind of got in his head, and he started having drops. That is the more concerning for a veteran who's supposed to be confident with the big contract. Hey, man, throw me the freaking ball. And it just didn't seem that way to me. So I'm, is he more of a 1B is what I've been calling him the whole time, and not a 1A. Because 1A brings diva, but they also bring dominant, and I'm the A personality to give me the ball. So I want to see him step up. I think they'll probably try to get him involved early. There is no Surtain on the Rams, so that's right. The defense is good, but they don't have Surtain. I mean, he was Defensive Player of the Year, man. This guy's special, obviously. I played against his dad with the Dolphins. He was really good, too, as well.
He was a good player, too.
Yeah, he was a Pro Bowl type player. So, he's going to have a decent day for sure. If he doesn't have 50 yards at least, I'd be surprised. What do you think? Well, you're close to the team, Buck. What do you think? How was he acting all week? He was.
I mean, he handled it. He didn't speak after the game. Okay, so that's a different version of Calvin Ridley after the game than when you get him a couple of days after in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, Calvin is a very emotional person, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's an emotional game, but I would have been curious to hear from him directly after Sunday's loss.
I would have directly wanted to hear from Dan Moore, Jr.
Yeah, I didn't find him either. Couldn't find him in the locker room.
Funny how that works.
Well, Brian Callahan also took 20 minutes to get the podium. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Well, with regard to the Rams, they've got Williams, Witherspoon, Lake is the nickel. As I mentioned earlier, Greg Cosell telling us if they can give Cam Ward some time, there's an advantage there for the Titans at wide receiver against their second.
There should be, right? But Calvin's got to catch the ball. And, that's what he was saying on Wednesday, Blaine. He's just like, I can't tell you anything. I'm not going to make excuses. Like, I just got to do my job. And if you guys remember, he was having drops early in the season last year, too. And then he kind of ironed it out to his credit. I know he was spending a lot more time on the jugs machine. He was doing a lot of these tennis ball drills and things like that to work on his hand-eye
coordination. But they weren't even targeting him hardly, though, then.
No, I know. And this is kind of the give and take with that, because what Tyke Tolbert said this week, talking to the assistant coaches, was some guys just got to focus on catching the ball before they try and take off. And Calvin is so anxious, so eager to take off because he knows he can beat that guy that sometimes he gets ahead of himself. He can't make those mistakes as a $92 million player. That's just not what it is.
It's the same thing you tell your little leaguers. Catch the ball before you run.
Blaine, they're playing a different sport than a lot of people last year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is like this is what they have to coach,
Blaine,
man.
This is the thing that pissed me off so much this week. Okay, we cannot collectively set the bar any lower for them to achieve. All right, that's what made me so crazy watching last week's game. Is again they found a way to undermine themselves, and they cannot commit those kind of mistakes. It's too important to support Cam Ward. He is the franchise. His success is everybody's success. That is the thing that has to be protected at all costs, no matter how this season goes. And they did not adequately support him in a couple of different ways last week. And I think they all feel the burden of that, but I'm tired of my bad guys. There's a lot of my bad guys on this team, or at least there have been.
What do you do? We talked about right tackle, left tackle. We talked about game planning, chipping, all this stuff. You go more short game, more go quick game?
Quick game?
Yeah.
You would think so. I would do that. I would have 2 or 3 strategies. I'm glad you brought this up, man. I'm just now thinking about it because I always try to put my mind in the coaches. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I would definitely do the hurry up at home because of the noise. The crowd noise won't be a factor offensively. And rush up to the line sometimes. But I want him to be in control because one thing when I saw him, as though when he was calling plays and he was making checks at the line, by the way, guys. I mean, it was impressive. He may have missed some, but for a rookie
player,
he's
comfortable enough to do that tells you
at
something.
That kind of level to me was really good. So I like to see him do his own little drive, do like a 2-minute offense, maybe at the beginning of a quarter, maybe second quarter, maybe after a timeout, catch the defense off guard, loosen them up a little bit. I'll push back a little bit on Cosell on this.
Okay.
They are not better secondary players, but as a unit, these guys are very fundamentally sound as players.
Houston scored 9 points on them
average
last
starter,
week.
corner, safeties, but they are sound. So whoever's coaching them is sound. They have a first rounder, a second rounder, Forbes that got cut by Commanders, went to Mississippi State. he's number one. I kept saying, who is number one? Yeah, well, he's now turning into that guy.
Emmanuel Forbes, number one. Yep.
Yep, he was cut by the Commanders. That's who drafted him, not just a couple years ago. And they said he couldn't play. All of a sudden now he can play. He looked pretty good out there. They're kind of thin, but I think as a unit with their front four, they are better than advertised. Not elite by any means.
I'm glad you brought that up. So in terms of playing as a unit, that can kind of hide some of that stuff. But that's when Byron Young and Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk up front's really good.
I loved him. Yeah, he was at Florida State, right?
Kobe Turner, very good.
I liked what they did there, drafting Verse and Braden Fisk.
Yeah, that was
out of Florida State together, and that's an interesting, because Tavondre Sweat we'll talk about later. He's not playing today. That's an interesting kind of look at what the Titans' opportunity cost type of thing, because a lot of people were talking about teams trying to get up, or the Rams trying to get up to acquire Braden Fisk in the draft. The Carolina Panthers ended up taking a deal that the Tennessee Titans passed on for the Sweat pick. That was, 38 overall, if I'm not mistaken?
38, 39.
38, and then the Rams come up with Carolina and take Fisk right after Sweat. So it's an interesting kind of look, and I know, not to do things in retrospect, but just the kind of opportunity cost stuff that you can get more pieces and parts on a team that has more holes to fill, and how much you can do with
I love Fisk coming out, man. Ooh, he was a terror, man. He is relentless effort, nonstop. Wasn't too many guys like that.
What did you guys see from Alec Iomanor, rookie wide receiver? Could he be a piece today?
I believe he can. Yes. He had one underthrow on a deep ball, and then he had one overthrow. He threw it out of bounds, but it was a penalty.
Threw it out of bounds.
And he was open. And it was against their number 2, so he was a solid player. And then he had a drop. Said he didn't even see where Cam Ward threw the ball from, so he couldn't track it. That's what he's telling you. I didn't see where the quarterback released it out of his hand because he threw it through the line.
Yeah.
It was a slant. Did him dead in the hands. He got to catch that. Sorry. I think there's a possibility he could be, 4 for 60, something like that. Yeah.
You got to take advantage of the matchups that are presented to you.
That's exactly right.
That's just one of those things where we're talking about, again, all the first and second year players. Just talking to people on the sideline before Denver last week with the team, they're like, these guys are going to play. Like, they've got to play. They're going to get a decent amount of snaps right out the gate. Alec, I think, that got a higher percentage of snaps than they may have intended, maybe going in, and I think they're going to try and more evenly distribute it across Van Jefferson, Chimere DK, Alec Iomanor. We'll see, or at least that was one of the talking points this week, is we're going to try and have a wider rotation here with what these guys can give us. But you've got to.
Do you believe them when they say that?
I mean, I only because
I'm just asking.
No, it's a
I don't
fair
know
question.
what to believe. I don't know what to believe because they said that all last year with Spears. Right.
Yeah, well, but Tajay, he's dealing with the hamstring. He's got the 2 concussions.
But last year they kept saying we got to find more ways.
Coming in early.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But Tony Pollard was I don't fault them for going in with one mindset, Blaine, and then maybe adapting based on what they see after the fact. Okay. Now, that's not to say that I take everything that they say as gospel. They're not going to.
I thought you did, Buck.
Not
lately. Personality says you would.
Not lately.
Not lately.
Not lately.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by SA Recycling. SA Recycling reminds you to be a good fan this game day and look for recycle bins in and around Nissan Stadium. What did you guys see from Gunnar Helm, the rookie tight end? Obviously had the 1 catch.
He's just, I think that he's got to learn more nuances, or I think they want him to learn more nuances of the position before they start to ramp him up. But they clearly want him on the field, right? They clearly know that he presents some advantages for them. I think Chig is a different kind of player. We'll see how they work those two across the board. But at its core, Blaine, it looks like that Gunnar Helm has the skill set, or at least the developing skill set, to be on the field to give you more things, whether he's in line and blocking, whether he's split out wide, whether he's used in multiple tight end sets and things like that. Like, he has the ability to do, I think, more at a top level than Chig's current skill set offers him. I just think Chig has more years, more experience, a second year in the system before you start to see a heavier distribution in Helm's favor. I don't know if that happens necessarily just in year 1, but I think that's the general direction that they'd like to head.
Well, I think they need to start that process now. And I think it should start this game with 2 tight end sets should be the kind of the focal point of this offense going into this game with the offensive line issues. And I think Gunner's ready to. He has more potential to be the better all-around tight end. Maybe not necessarily a better pass receiver. Chig is pretty good at that, but and Chig needs to show that he's a more all-around, tight end as well. So I think they should be major factors in this game. Now, ultimately, you win on the outside to win games, but I think to move the chains and for blocking and everything that you can bring to the table as a tight end in this offense, I think today should be a big day.
With the problems at tackle, is that part of why you say 2 tight ends?
Yeah. Because I'm going to set the tone early where I'm going to run the football. I'm going to have 2 tight ends in there, and then I'm going to open it up. I'm going to do my 15-play deal where I do no huddle. I'm trying to get you loose and kind of off guard and see what your setup's going to be versus my formation and what's your game plan against us. So, that's why I would go 2 tight end sets a lot.
What did you guys see from the special teams unit? Much better than last year. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. Baby steps.
And not just a plus, but like you didn't have the extra large minus.
Could I even say an advantage?
Hey, even the return of DK did pretty good. I wasn't sure about that.
71 yards.
Ooh, I was like, yes.
Well, he bailed out his coach before the end of half.
I mean, it's still egregious.
What do you mean he bailed out the coach?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
It was still egregious. That doesn't take away from the bad decisions.
Plain.
That score should have been 6-3 at halftime.
There's no, they always say in the press box, no cheering in the press box. I need like a little sign in front of me that says no cussing in the press box. I'm seething watching that end of half play out. And listen, we had talked to John Fossil, Bones Fossil, the new special teams coordinator, about DK being a bit untested, but Blaine, there's so many things that they don't show us or that we don't have access to. Not every practice is open, certainly not this time of year. I mean, hell, the Bucks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I know we're going to talk about some of these other games later.
Yep.
They did this whole offseason. They had, I can't remember 77's name, out there starting at left tackle the whole preseason long. All of a sudden, Graham Barton, the local product, is starting out at left tackle in week 1, and they're looking around being like, oh, this didn't leak. Nobody knew that they were going to do things like this. Chimere DK as a returner felt like one of those things where we all just assumed it was James Prochet because that's what we saw. That's what our eyes told us. That's what we were asking the most questions about.
That's what the coach said, basically.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, it's a shell game a little bit here for some competitive advantage type of stuff. And they will know that things about DK are on film now and what he can do and what he can't do. And we'll see if he's able to continue to be a plus. But it was a very pleasant surprise. Talk about young guys stepping up.
We'll talk about the Titans defense against the Rams offense in the 10 o'clock hour. When we come back, we will talk about some of the AFC South matchups today, all of them actually, and what happened last week. Talk about the division next. We appreciate you listening. Lee Company, all you need. Visit them online at leecompany.com. Brent Doherty, Blaine Bishop, Buck Rising with you until 11 o'clock this morning. It is the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff, live from Nissan Stadium outside Gate 3. We'll be right back. It is the Lee Company countdown to kickoff. Brent Doherty with you. Blaine Bishop and Buck Rising are here. We'll be with you until 11 o'clock, live from Nissan Stadium outside Gate 3. Thanks to all of y'all that came. Pre-game, the gates have not opened yet.
Yeah, hi, guys. What's up?
Injury designations happen when?
At 10:30 today, hour and a half before kick.
10:30. We'll have that for you. Rams-Titans, home opener. Rams favored by 5.5.
Oh.
Yeah?
Where are you on?
I'm not the gamblers like you guys, so that means they're really 8.5. But you get three points for home. Please help.
Typically,
a non-gambler.
2.5-ish.
2.5-ish.
If teams are on fairly even footing.
I don't know. I see a lot of Rams fans out here.
Yeah, I mean, that is not something. That's not something you necessarily count on. I've been to a lot of games at SoFi. I think there's more Rams everywhere else around the country than there are in Los Angeles. But it
Blaine,
is going to be interesting to see today.
You saw number 99 earlier walking. You were like,
"Oh, I'm glad he's not playing."
Titans could sign him just literally right off the street and play tackle.
It's only 34.
Yeah, I saw Jerome Bettis. People forget he played for the Rams initially.
It's like an 8.
Yeah, that's why I said initially there.
That's the last time I think I saw a Titans-Rams game was just talking about running backs in different uniforms than you associate them with. Titans legend Adrian Peterson.
Oh, stop that.
Touchdown run
against
Sunday
the Rams.
Night Football. Derrick Henry's first game out, 2021, with the foot fracture. They signed Adrian Peterson.
It was against the Rams.
They go to SoFi and they beat him up pretty bad. It was an interesting.
Is this the game that Simmons had 3 sacks or no?
Jeff, I do think had a big game. I just remember the Adrian Peterson part of it.
Those are funny memories though, like Titans legend Randy Moss.
That makes me happy. That's
Titans
my favorite game to play.
Legend Andre Johnson.
Of course.
Well, what makes a legend? Just 1 year?
No.
I'm
being
really
sarcastic.
No, I'm talking about Buck, but he says it all the time.
And then all of a sudden, you're trying to fill a spot. You take a step back.
Uh-oh.
You start out 1-3. Now all of a sudden,
Front row.
you're trying to figure out who you are.
I guess we're back.
Okay.
And we're back.
Chill out, Ross.
Ross taking over. Lee Company, all you need, visit them online at leecompany.com. Yeah, point spread. I'm not messing with this game. I'll tell you that right now.
Give us your philosophy on betting. That way, everybody can hear.
Yeah, because you actually do this and we're done.
Yeah.
This way.
Yep. Don't turn red.
I have no idea what's going to happen today whatsoever on any level.
Why'd you just
but I think that's the most optimistic view of this thing.
Maybe it is.
Come on now.
I mean, Cam Ward could get sacked 8 times, or he could throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I think the former is.
Is it a side bet that
more likely than the latter?
I don't know. I don't go that deep into it, Blaine.
Well, I think
you could talk to our guy Slay about stuff like that.
I did yesterday.
Oh my!
Oh, you went to a tailgate.
Fun time on Rocky Top until the end. But I think that with this game in particular, like, it's still a big number, right? No matter how big you believe, if we're talking just purely from a gambling standpoint, Blaine, no matter how big the difference you believe to be in the talent level of the two teams, like the Titans were 8.5-point underdogs last week. That's a huge number in the NFL.
Right, yeah.
Huge. It was the biggest difference by point spread between two teams of any game on the table. And the Titans covered. Right now, the Titans don't do a great
half
job.
A point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they 2-15 last year.
Get that hook. Get that hook
against the spread. So,
that's right.
They didn't cover by much, but it was just enough. So 5.5 feels more appropriate, but it's still kind of a similar outlook as that Denver game.
I think that spread is right. That's why I'm saying.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you're a home underdog at 5.5.
Yeah, and Nissan's one of those. I'm genuinely interested to see what the crowd is like today, like what the energy level is like, what all that feels like today from Titans fans, because again, the excitement of Cam Ward, I think, is driving so much around here.
That's
where it's hope
true.
And manifest this thing into existence.
That's definitely
But
true.
if the team, lets Cam Ward down, or if Cam Ward doesn't necessarily have his best outing, is the crowd going to continue to build the way that they need them to build throughout the course of this? I mean, that's a question only the good people in front of us hanging out.
Do you
that I
think
can answer.
the Ram contingency, 10% will be in the stands?
10%. That might be about right. That might be about right.
But I think if it's not like Green Bay, right? Green Bay came in here last year and took it over.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
I
don't
think it's one of those games. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not really.
There's a lot of things to do in LA.
Rams fans aren't like that, as far as I know.
Well, and I think to your point, I think a lot of people in the Titans fan base are anxious to see Cam Ward.
Yeah. And should be. This is exciting.
So I think there are more people holding on to their tickets this week.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of Cam Ward, who do you guys, or even who does Vegas say he's going to throw his first touchdown to?
Oh, that's
anybody got some input out there? Who's Cam Ward going to throw his first touchdown to?
We did that on 3HL, who was going to score the first Titans touchdown, which carried over to this week because it didn't happen last week. I went with Gunnar Helm. I forget where Slay went. Pollard, maybe?
I would have said Pollard.
Yeah.
Like that little scramble drill play, and I know he's not going to get away with a lot of that, like he did in college, Cam Ward, but that third down play, the 29-yard completion of Tony Pollard, that's the frustrating thing about the Tajay Spears injury, is because I think they can do so much more with them when they're both available to play. And Tony Pollard's a legit receiver out of the backfield.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can find some fun ways to get that guy involved. I think that's a frustration for the coaching staff, too. So, I mean, Pollard feels like Tony Pollard's their best asset right now. I mean, I think a lot of people want to put Calvin Ridley in that category, too, but you got to show up today. It's a big day for Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, but Pollard used to play slot receiver at Memphis. Then they moved him to running back.
There you go.
Senior year.
Little insight.
Quick twitchy.
Yeah, he twitchy now.
AFC South today, Jaguars at Bengals. Both teams 1-0. The Bengals survived a 17-16 scare in Cleveland. Burrow 14-23, 113 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Cincinnati had just 141 yards of total offense in that game against Cleveland. Jacksonville won 26-10 at home over Carolina in Week 1. Trevor Lawrence, 19-31, 178 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Etienne had 143 yards rushing on 16 carries. Travis Hunter played 44 offensive snaps. He had 6 receptions for 33 yards. He played 6 snaps on defense, recording 1 tackle. How do you see that playing out, Blaine, moving forward? Do you think he gets more time on defense as we go through?
Man, I know I've been kind of firm on what I thought he was going to be, and I thought he was going to be an offensive player.
Yep.
More so than not, and it was really more about not his skill set. The dude's super talented, as everybody knows. It was more about how his body was built and going to make tackles against running backs coming around that corner. I just don't think his body was built for that. So I thought I would play him more offensively, and if they want to push him to play defense, I think it's a little bit of a mistake to me. Yeah.
That's been the talking point this week. Liam Cohen said they're going to play more defensive snaps, or at least their plan is this week to play more defensive snaps.
If you talk to anybody that was at Colorado while he was there, he hardly ever practiced because he had to take so much to get his body back right. And so if that's happening in college, the NFL is way more physical. So
he won't tell you that though, Blaine. I remember being at the combine this year, and I think it was Josina Anderson asked him, like, what kind of special conditioning do you do to make sure that you can play that many snaps? He's just like, I walk around. I walk most places. It's like downplaying a little bit. I'm like,
he didn't practice hardly. And I'm like, man, okay. You see how he went around there trying to tackle people by the shoelaces. You're not no dummy right there.
That reminds me of your story about Samari role-playing corner, and he wasn't a very big guy, right?
Yeah.
And I forget who you guys were playing, Corey Dillon or something, and you were like, hey, man, just make him move his feet.
Yeah,
I'm coming.
I'm coming. Yeah, he was like, hey, man, No, he looked up here after he made a tackle and said, hey, man, if I have to do that one more time.
Yeah.
I was like, don't, just to make him start to dive at his ankles, man.
Incredible athlete, just not very big.
Yeah. No doubt about it, because at that time, it was his rookie year. I think they were going to play him on both sides, and then he hurt his neck.
That's right.
So, that's what I'm talking about. See, that right there.
Can I ask you a quick question, Blaine?
Sure, yeah. Everybody said go.
What are you nervous?
No, I'm just looking around.
He started looking around.
We answered a quick question. Are we asking questions all over the place?
Quick question.
I may not know the answer.
Does Trevor Lawrence suck?
Oh.
Because I think he sucks. How is he still missing open receivers?
I think you definitely have seen.
It makes me insane.
You've seen the ceiling.
Oh my God.
Sure.
Oh.
How is he this bad?
He's just an average starting quarterback.
Oh my God.
I put him in the same as Tua. Like I couldn't believe the organizations. I guess
Tua's
they had
been more
no choice
statistically productive.
to give them that $50 million or more. I just like, man,
Oh.
50. Man, they're not. No. Why didn't Mayfield or Purdy get that kind of money? Did Purdy get it?
Purdy got it.
He did. Okay.
And nobody else to play with. Brock Purdy not playing this week either. Go ahead,
Speaking
Brent.
of the AFC South and the Dolphins, the Colts and Broncos play. They're both 1-0.
Oh, in Indy.
In Indy. The Colts hammered the Dolphins 33-8. Danny Dimes 22 of 29, 272 and a touchdown. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns. The Colts became the first team since 1977 to score on every possession.
No, with Danny Dimes.
Hey, you do not want him to be the next rehabilitated quarterback if you're a Titans fan. Like, come on.
Right system, maybe?
Daniel Jones?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right
I
system,
feel like I
maybe?
needed my back getting tight now, man. Danny Dimes is doing it. I told you, I knew he was going to start
Now-
when they gave him that $14 million, man. They believed in him.
Yeah,
Yep.
but speaking of things that suck, Miami's defense. Like, a little pride there, boys. Like, I know they got no corners, and they traded away Jalen Ramsey, and Minka Fitzpatrick's got to be rethinking his life choices at this point in time. But the Dolphins are not the Broncos,
Well,
right? This is a much bigger game.
Right, and looking at that Broncos-Colts game, Bo Nix didn't play well last week.
Nope.
How much of that was him? How much of that was the Titans actually
great
played
point.
well defensively?
Good point.
He felt a little skittish to me in the pocket. I felt like it was a lot of unnecessary movement, Blaine. But just talking about Bo Nix, you might speak to that better than I could.
Yeah, well, I was going into the game. I watched a lot of tape of Bo Nix because I didn't watch a lot of them last year. And, man, did I come out of that thoroughly impressed
Yeah.
with not only his arm talent but also his athleticism. I thought he was a better athlete than Cam Ward, and I thought he could be a problem running the football, even design runs. Like, I might have put in a design run, kind of like how they used to use Tannehill a little bit. He's kind of right there, right below Tannehill as far as his athleticism, underrated as a quarterback. So I was a little surprised that he played sporadic. Like, he was up and down in our game, and I don't know if it was more so our defense made him do that. And they started off fast last year, even against the Bears. And I think that's what happens is this defense with no elite pass rushers as far as getting after the quarterback and defensive end, I think as time goes on, if they keep playing this amount of plays, they'll get tired and then eventually break. And that's what I'm saying. I'm starting to see already, and I'm just trying not to judge what I saw last year happening this year. So I want to see the offense control the clock a little bit more. Maybe you need to run Pollard a little bit more to give your defense a little bit of a breather. But I think he thinks, Callahan, that sharp passing game is also a run too as well.
The Texans host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night. Houston favored by 2.5. Tampa is 1-0. They won in Atlanta 23-20. Houston 0-1. Lost to these Rams 14-9. Interesting that Houston is the favorite in this matchup, straight because of home field with 2.5. Broncos favored by 1.5 over the Colts, and the Bengals favored by 3.5 over the Jaguars. Again, Rams a 5.5-point favorite here at Nissan Stadium. Available 24/7. Put Lee Company on your team to tackle your home's heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical problems. Schedule online at leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need. We'll talk about the defensive matchup with the Rams offense from a Titan perspective. Coming up next, it is the Lee Company countdown to kickoff. Brent Doherty, Blaine Bishop, Buck Rising, outside gate 3 at Nissan Stadium. This is 104.5 The Zone. It is the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff. Brent Doherty with you. Blaine Bishop, Buck Rising are here. We'll be with you until 11 a.m. live from Nissan Stadium outside Gate 3. Guys, they're about to open the gate. There are a lot of people here.
Hell yeah.
And mostly Titans fans. I'm loving it.
How y'all feeling? It's a home opener, for God's sakes. You got any juice? Let's go. There you go.
There's some Titan up there.
Little life out there, Blaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a Cooper Cup jersey over there.
I see that. I even saw a Bettis.
Puka Nacua.
Nakua. What we going to do with him? Nothing.
We're gonna talk about that. It is 80 degrees and sunny right now. Is that your analysis right there?
What do you do with Puka Nacua?
Nothing. Moving on.
Just let him get his. Try to contain the other guy.
Well, that's like we're gonna get into this, obviously.
That's what you always say when a guy just blows up, right? And we will get into it because he had a huge day last weekend. Temperature at kickoff, 88 degrees. It doesn't feel bad right now.
No, it feels amazing.
It's sunny right now.
Well, we're in the shade.
We are in the shade, but
thanks to Kirby.
it's going to move into
Or not.
the lower 90s during the game, so it's going to be a hot
It's
one out
gonna be
there.
a scorcher.
Well, and
You brought some sunblock, Buck?
I'm hiding out in the press box. You can't catch me out there in a lower bowl. No, and Kern was on the show talking about that this week. Just how much hotter that synthetic material makes the playing surface feel like, field level feel like, when the sun's really beating down. Obviously, they got a great many noon kicks to play. They're going to have to. I mean, and they practice in this. They've played preseason games in this at this point, obviously. So it's not something that they're going to be unaware of.
Yeah. Does the weather affect the footballs?
It shouldn't. I think the only thing that should affect an actual team based on where you play is Denver. Because
Well, I'm talking about punting and kicking. That's what I was referencing.
Oh no, I think he was just talking from like what it feels like on the field in game,
okay.
not necessarily the performance of it. But something to keep in mind again today. Make sure you're hydrated if you're coming to the game. Make sure you're bringing your sun protection, your hats, and things like that. But this game is such an interesting matchup. It's not an advantageous one for the Titans, guys, as we've talked about in the first hour. But that's not a reason to not go out there and compete. You're looking for how competitive they can be with a team that's also having Super Bowl aspirations in LA this year.
We'll talk about the Titans' defense against the Rams' offense in just a second, but I've got to know. I always love it when you talk about press box food. How was Denver?
Solid. You may have had some help on the front end to improve the quality of the food, but I think
help on the front end.
Well, yeah.
Was it?
Well, it's legal in Denver.
Oh my! Boy, I was lost there for a second there.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Everything made a pit stop.
A little better in Denver, but an elevated experience.
Did they have some brownies there?
If you will. I did check the brownies. They weren't the kind of brownies that I favor, but I think in particular, nice spread, nice variety, vegan options for those of us who are not necessarily looking for a hot dog or anything like that.
Brent's on that tip right now.
Brent looks great.
I got him
Brent's
hooked.
in game shape.
I'm in game shape. My favorite story is being with you at Slay's wedding, and we get a text message. We're going to the aquarium at 9 in the morning. I'm like, who's going to the aquarium at 9 in the morning at Slay's wedding?
Me and Robert. That's how we pre-gamed. We
Oh.
pre-gamed at the aquarium. It was a big time. You got to bring your own juice if the atmosphere isn't
Well, it
quite
depends.
ready
Is
for
it a big time aquarium?
It's a big time aquarium, baby. It's the aquarium of the Pacific.
Yeah.
You put some respect on it.
See, exactly.
There you go.
Mayor, that's why at
I'm
9
just saying.
a.m. Get your mind right. We're going to leave at 12.
No, they got their mind right, and then they went to the aquarium.
Namaste.
Lee Company, all you need. Visit them online at leecompany.com. All right, let's take a look at this matchup from a Titan defense perspective. Matthew Stafford, 6th all-time in passing yardage.
Oh, my.
Had the back issue in the offseason. Did start the opener, obviously. What do you guys think about Matthew Stafford at this point in his career?
Blaine, I mean, he's just so good.
Oh, my.
You talk to NFL people, maybe the best arm talent guy in the league.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Actually, I have to be honest. I'm more nervous about this game than the past game, only because more so the offensive tackles.
Yeah.
So, and Matthews, Matthew Stafford, man, he can make every throw. I'm just hoping he tweaks his back in warm-ups.
My neck and my back.
I mean, seriously. So
I hope he tweaks his back in warm-up. You called them crooks earlier.
Right.
Now you're
crooks.
hoping for a pregame injury.
Not like a debilitating back injury, just like a tweak.
And then I'm hoping, Jeff Simmons accidentally bumps into Stafford, and then he falls down and he hurts his back.
Yeah, just accidental stuff.
Accidental, always accidental.
No intent.
Never on purpose.
No, but here's the thing: like you bring up Jeff Simmons to actually.
Who's the backup quarterback?
It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
I definitely want to see him. He missed a scaredy cat.
What did Greg Williams used to tell y'all?
Scaredy cat.
What did Greg Williams used to tell y'all? We want to see number 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now. We want to see number 2.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
He'll be accurate, but then all of a sudden, once you start, boom, boom, boom.
Everybody's accurate until you see Jeff Simmons bearing down on you. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Well, so Jeffrey Simmons had 4 pressures last week.
I landed.
That's the same number of pressures the entire rest of the Titans defense had.
Yeah, that's true.
That was debilitating. Yes. What you just said right there.
Well, Femi was second. Blaine Femi was second on the team in pressures. How many do you have? Do you know?
2.
2.
I thought Femi gave him some pretty positive
he did solid.
Femi was solid, right? He was fine. He was unblocked on those 2 pressures. He wasn't necessarily winning on one-on-one, but again.
But he didn't take the cheese, though. He did his job.
No, he was disciplined. He was solid, to your point. I think that's something that they're going to have to – they just need some juice. Now, the thing is, how effective is Arden Key going to be today? He's on the injury report with a pec, was limited in practice.
What?
Obviously, no Tavondre Sweat, so there will be a great many more double teams for Jeffrey Simmons in this game, which is an unfortunate circumstance. Jeff, without the 2 penalties – and he had the 2 penalties.
Oh, he would have had a great game.
He would have had a great game. The 2 penalties are so costly. And again, we talk about Calvin Ridley and the drops. Jeff Simmons is accountable in the locker room afterwards, but it's a lot of my bad, Blaine. Like on the penalties, at some point he's just got to stop. And those 2 penalties in the situations that they were, I think it was a neutral zone infraction early on the 3rd
and the 15-yarder.
Right, and then you had the one late in the game that essentially ended the game. So I just...
He hasn't learned how to balance his controlled rage. See, that's the issue. He doesn't know how to turn it off. And that can hurt you, and it can hurt your team, and that's where it becomes an issue.
Yeah. And it was. I mean, it has been, right? He is a great player when it comes to the skill set that he brings, but the discipline of it, it's not. He's not one of these year 1 or year 2 guys. Like, you've been in the league long enough now.
He should have figured it out.
You got to lock in on that.
Yeah.
So, speaking of penalties, let's go to Brownlee Jr. As a former defensive back, how do you look at the penalties that he accumulated against Denver? Does he need to take a step back with regard to how physical he is with his hands?
Oh man, it goes all the way back to last season. So obviously, now he's got a reputation. So he has to change a little bit of his style based off how they're calling the game. I mean, that's only what smart players do. Was he touchy-feely? And I think that's kind of always going to be some part of him with being overly aggressive. At the same time, I would probably try to start doing some drills where he's not using his hands, like put your hands behind your back or to your side and try to move without using your hands, especially at touch points at the top of routes. I think that's where he gets it. I think he's looking back. So he's got to be disciplined, make sure he's keying the hips and everything else to the receiver. I think it's fixable, but I don't think you'll ever change his aggressive nature.
It'd be hard from a coaching perspective, right?
Yes.
Because you really don't want to change his aggressive nature.
Yeah.
But Denard Wilson was saying kind of what you're saying. Like, he's got to learn when to take his hands off the receiver, and it's at the top of the route.
Well, watch this, though. Here, if I was coaching them, and this is what I would say, your biggest strength is also your biggest weakness.
Yep.
So they're going to use it. The real good receivers are going to use it against you. And they're going to know how to get the calls. And we all know the calls are built really for offenses. I saw so many offensive pass interference that they never called on anybody, not necessarily in that game, but all games, college and pro. I saw receivers push off. So he just has to learn doing it under the belt line. That's how you get back. You grab and touch it under the belt line, not high or low. Guess what? Referee told me that. All those big old tight ends pushing me after the 5-yard routes. Oh, no. Whoop, come back. So just below the waist, I think he'll be fine.
I know you did. I know the answer to this question before I even ask it. So maybe I should ask it in a different way.
What's that?
Communicate with the official before the game.
Oh, yeah.
Get to know him a little bit.
Oh, okay. Just a typical routine. I don't know if a lot of people want to hear this, but, every time I have my nervous dump before the game, right, I am in the
Happens.
in the
Rather do it before
I'm in
the
the
game.
stall reading the brochure of everything about what's going on and reading about the
guys
referees
do
and
it
their
in game.
names. Make sure I knew their names. Yeah. So then that way when I'm having conversations with lead by name, he's like, "Oh, this guy knows me. Yeah, man, we've been out here. We've been doing this thing for a long time, man. Hey, can I get some breaks? What we tight on today?" See?
But that is a thing, though. You develop a relationship.
Yeah, no doubt.
You try to develop a relationship,
Yeah.
but you do develop they start to know what you are.
Yes.
And start to watch what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they base it off of that. And that's why Bronley, I think, is
reputation. That's what I was trying to come up
reputation. That's what's going on with Bronley.
Well, but Blaine, to your point, and things that you were mentioning earlier, Brent, about beating themselves, like what you're talking about in your pregame routine. That's an example of learning how to win in the margins.
Yeah.
This team has to, this coaching staff in particular, has to find ways to help this team win in the margins. You are going to be at a talent deficit in a lot of situations. And it's on the field. It's off the field. It's technique. It's, how well do you know the rules? All the different things that can be exploited in-game to give your team a leg up when you may be up against it. That's something that we're still, I think, waiting to see this team learn as a whole. We talk about the youth on this team. That's fine. But you also have enough veterans, enough experienced coaches to try and put them in this position. And the coaching staff has to, provide that as a plus across the board as well. John Fossil and the special teams unit did their job last week. I thought Denard Wilson and the defense did their jobs last week. The offensive coaching staff has to step it up here to make sure that they can find ways to win within the margins.
Rams are going to try to be balanced probably on some level. Stafford with 29 pass attempts last week. They ran the ball 25 times. Kyron Williams is their running back. What do you guys see in terms of what the Titans need to do defensively to kind of dictate things offensively in terms of what the Rams do and try to stop that run game?
Well, Blaine, if I could ask your opinion
ahead.
on this, because their personnel acquisitions this offseason, Femi, Draymond Jones, Jihad Ward, these are much different body types on the edge than Arden Key or Jalen Harrell, right? These are big, solid dudes that can collapse the pocket or that can win with strength and traits in those kind of situations. I just feel like that if you talk about things that are going to beat you today, Kyron Williams cannot beat you because Puka Nacua is going to get his, right? Kyron Williams cannot be the thing that beats you today. And listen, they're without Sweat, and that's huge, literally and metaphorically. But Sebastian Joseph Day is a good player.
Solid player, yeah.
He is a good player. I think that what you saw from Femi Oladejo and how he played across the board, I think that's a solid starting point. Let's see where you build upon it this week. Brian Callahan talked about him setting violent edges for the Titans on defense throughout the course of the week leading up to this. I think Ward, Draymond Jones, you're going to have to see them be their best against the run today across the board. And then guys like Shai Tuttle, who this team just brought in, Sebastian Joseph Day, the depth interior defensive line. Without Sweat, it's going to be a group effort. It has to be.
Yeah, and I think you're right on point. If the Titans doesn't, they don't control the run game and stop it, I think that leads to everything what Sean McVay wants to do because ultimately he wants to use the play action pass as you kind of were talking about there, and then throw the football. So you got to contain it, you got to eliminate it where it's not a non-factor in this game, and they have the guys and the pieces to do it even without Sweat. But it could change once that passing game starts happening. Then all of a sudden, then you start seeing little creases here and there, especially with their zone run game. It's going to be tough, but they got to stop it. If they don't stop the run game, we're in some big, big trouble.
Lee Company, all you need, visit them online at leecompany.com. How much does it affect the inside linebackers with Sweat not in there? Because Cody Barton played every defensive snap last week, which is amazing. How affected will the inside linebackers be with the absence of Sweat?
Well, I think, he takes two blockers, especially in the run game. So I think it'll be a factor, but I don't think it's something consciously Barton will be thinking about. He'll just know when somebody's on him, when they double down and get to the second level. He'll realize that, sometimes Sweat was getting doubled. It was making him be a free runner. So it's going to impact the run game. They've had some advantages here. I think this defense early in the season still's got some juice because they haven't played a lot of plays, and I think hopefully it'll be something they'll be able to do in this game is contain the run game.
From a numbers perspective, analytically, Titans were 7th in terms of defense last week.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that was Bo Nix didn't play well and how much of that was the Titans actually stood up on D.
Yeah, I think you can it's context that's important, but I think both things happened, right? Like the defense is something that we are going to be monitoring all year long because think about this, guys, not just because of who the Titans played last, but Thursday Night Football, the most recent NFL game that we saw, and what Green Bay is doing on defense. Now, they obviously have a Micah Parsons.
Oh, my God.
And Denver has Nick Bonito and Pat Surtain and all these other guys. Like, the Titans are not working with quite that. But what a cheat code a good defense or great defense is for a young quarterback.
Yes.
Just to get the opposition off the field, give your guys more opportunities at this thing. That's what Bo Nix got. Because they turned the ball over on offense 3 times. They had a muff punt, right? But Bo Nix kept getting opportunities. That's something that the defense was allowing for Cam Ward. The offense wasn't able to capitalize on those opportunities last week.
6 points.
That's what I'm saying. You know, there were 2 possessions, Blaine, in plus territory that they didn't come away with points at all.
Yeah.
You know, of the 7 possessions that they had.
And one of them was big time Cam's fault.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's at the end of the game. And listen, he's got it. He can't run out of the back of the pocket.
Yeah.
He cannot. Lamar Jackson, Mike Vick, those are guys that can get away with that at the NFL level. Cam Ward is not.
But wasn't
that.
it a timeout after one of those plays?
I believe so.
Right. Why is nobody not remind him, hey, we need to stay in field goal range. If not, can it, throw it out of bounds. That all need to be said. It wasn't just a reminder. He's a rookie quarterback.
I have many criticisms of the coaching staff from last week. The usage
They know
of
he's going to
timeouts.
try to make a play.
Yeah.
We will talk about the coaching elements in the next segment.
Can't wait for that.
Matthew Stafford, 37 years old, Super Bowl champ. The Rams beat the Bengals in February of 2022, 23-20. 6th all-time in passing yardage. Fastest player to have 40,000 career passing yards. We know what he is. Receivers, Devontae Adams, 33 in December, year 12. 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Wasn't that big of a factor last week against Houston. It was Puka Nacua. He was targeted 11 times. He had 10 receptions. Damn. That is insane. 130 yards.
Pretty good.
That's just a dream.
They scheme things up well for him in the slot. As you said earlier, I thought jokingly, kind of let him get his and shut everybody else down.
I think that's the best shot you got, man. I mean, try to contain Adams. I don't know the way they move around Puka Nacua, outside, inside, motion him. It's really hard to define where he's actually going to be and what he's going to do. Maybe you double him sometimes on 3rd downs, based off all kind of film study. But, I would try to contain everybody else and kind of, spot double Nacua, depending on down and distance.
Well, and that's the thing, Blaine, because going back to what Brent asked earlier about the impact of Sweat's absence on the linebackers. Like, Cedric Gray played almost as many snaps on defense as Cody Barton.
Right.
James Williams did not play a single defensive snap. So it's Cedric Gray, and that may depend on matchups.
Are you surprised in that?
No, I guess not, because they're giving him opportunities, right? And the only way to improve is to play. But the part about what you mentioned and the way that they scheme guys open in Los Angeles, the way that McVay utilizes the pre-snap eye candy to kind of try and get guys out of position or to show them something post-snap that was different than what they saw pre-snap. Cedric Gray, eye discipline is always important playing defense, Blaine, but that was something that cost this team last year, in particular, given the young linebackers and them called up earlier than maybe you would want for them to be. Today is a critical day for that kind of discipline.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. And that's why I thought Cedric Gray was going to win the job. His eye discipline was much more, it was better, let's say that, than James Williams. That's why I went with him.
Williams, by the way,
Williams is super talented.
No defensive snaps last week.
Yep.
So I wasn't.
Jihad Ward had snaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, that's another thing about who gets more snaps. Is Snead going to get more snaps?
That's another question. You're around the team all week. What do you think?
They said that it went to plan, and I guess
he must not know the plan then.
Yeah, he was frustrated.
Well, that's the thing, though, Blaine.
I don't know if he did or didn't.
They told him
what
the situation was.
What's that situation?
That he was going to be on a pitch count. and that it was
But did
gonna
they
be,
explain that he would not get any snaps in the second half?
And I bet they didn't.
I don't believe
See, that's
that
why
was the
I said
case
that.
because what he said was they did tell him that he was on a pitch count, but he deferred. That's coach's decision.
Yeah.
Said, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. And then Teron Davenport, I believe, at ESPN asked him the question, well, was that disappointing to you? He looked away and then looked back very sharply
Yeah,
and said, very.
Very much so.
And that's fine. Like, the job of the coaching staff is to protect the player. L'Jarius Sneed is somebody that matters, and how they ramp him up, they need him, Blaine. They need him desperately. So how they ramp him up and what it pertains to his longevity, I don't know enough about his injury situation.
I have no idea.
To be able, I don't think they do either, though. Like that's like to the extent of
that's probably
what's the
why.
best way to ramp this guy back up? Because if he's limited in practice, how do you condition for a game? If you've got a degenerative knee condition, how do you condition for a game?
I can tell you this: the way he was playing, it wasn't elite, but it was really good. I would have let him try to come back out, warm up again, and then start the second half.
Yeah.
I would have done that. And then maybe said, hey, if everything you can't get warm back up, we'll move forward. But they had in mind what they were going to do from the jump. They just wasn't clear in defining that we're only going to play you a half. And maybe in their mind, they didn't think they were going to even play him that much. See, that's what we don't know based
Brian
off of
Callahan
pitch count.
said he played 19. Brian Callahan said the plan was anywhere between 20 and 25.
It's easy to say afterward.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Definitely fair.
You said before this show that you weren't going to talk very much, and you've talked a lot.
I know. I need to
I'm
shut up.
just kidding. But I'm just saying, see how that can just manifest? Like, that's really, really? I mean, you can fix that up afterwards. Oh, I end up talking more. Or,
Well, then I
I
would
talk
have loved
less.
for him to fix up the rule knowledge situation as opposed to.
Well, we all were, our fan
We
base
will-
knew because we knew the butt cheek, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will talk about
Butt
that when we come back. Let me hit you with this really
butt
quickly
cheek.
before the break. We've talked about the Titans' injury situation. Both of their offensive guards are out, Avila and Dotson.
Good.
How much does that affect what the Rams try to do? Because you talked about primarily on defense, the first thing is to stop the run.
Yeah.
That's got to assist the Titans in that deal.
Again, without
sure.
Sweat, that's
I sure hope
that
so,
should
man.
have been an advantage. Maybe it's a little less than, but Jeff is still the best player on the football team. He needs to be able to dominate. He was dominant last week again, save the penalties.
He's been dominant against this team before.
Yes, he has. Absolutely, he has. So today, I mean, listen, you want your star players to rise to the occasion. Jeff Simmons is a star player on this football team. Rise to the occasion. Win your matchups.
So what is your question?
How much does that help? Two starting offensive linemen out in that center guard triangle.
Hey, man, we should be elated. And hopefully Jeff goes out there and just wrecks havoc.
Yeah.
They're having huge issues. Stafford is frustrated. He's getting all up in his face, and then they start hitting him on the outside. So they got to get pressure on the outside, too. So I think it's an advantage for sure. But how much? Man, it's hard to say till the game starts.
When we come back, we'll talk about the coaching issues in week one, the review process, the before the half errors, and get the keys to victory from you guys. Brent Doherty, Blaine Bishop, Buck Rising. It is the Lee Company Countdown to Kickoff, and we will be right back. Lee Company, all you need. Visit them online at leecompany.com.
Down to kickoff. Blaine Bishop, Buck Rising, and Brent Doherty on your flagship Park Titans Radio. 104.5 The Zone.
Thank you, Blaine. You are
make
game
sure
time
we're
ready. You're game time ready. It is the Elite Company Countdown to Kickoff with Brent Doherty. That's me. Blaine Bishop. That was him. And Buck Rising. He's over here looking pretty. We'll be with you until 11 o'clock.
Best.
Live from Nissan Stadium outside Gate 3. We'd love to see you out here.
She said that.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by SA Recycling. SA Recycling reminds you to be a good fan this game day and look for recycle bins in and around Nissan Stadium. Buck Rising, you have the ups and the downs?
I sure do. So we knew about J.C. Latham and Tavondre Sweat, but they obviously will not be active today. No Jalen Armour-Davis, who is the waiver wire corner pickup a couple of weeks ago. No Kevin Winston Jr., the
hamstring
rookie third-round pick. The hammy strikes again. No Khalil Mullings, no Sam Womack III, no Jackson Slater for today's game. Corey Levin signed to the active roster. Corey Levin up for this game. So that is your inactives against the Rams.
So tell us who's going to rotate at tackle, or is it just going to be a one-man show?
Brother, if I thought that they could be trusted to stick with one tackle the entire way through after last year, then I would tell you. But I saw them do things in a professional football game that I've never seen done before with a tackle rotation in 2024. So they said Oli Udoh don't necessarily slot him in after he was the fill-in for J.C. Latham last week. They did call John Ojukwu up from the practice squad, number 61, who they call Juice. So is it Juice? Is it Udoh? Does it end up being some combination of both of them? We will see today.
The juice is loose. Do you have the Rams by chance?
I will find that for you now.
No, Juice played for the Bills.
Did he ever?
Did a lot of things.
Yeah. He had an interesting life resume.
I did. He did do a lot of things.
You having fun with us on pregame, Brent?
I'm loving it. I knew I would love this.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're going to do this every home game right here at Gate 3.
Oh, well, cool, man. Good
Yeah,
to have the
come hang
mayor
out
on
with us.
town. Yeah, the mayor.
Look at you.
Mayor is the man.
Hitman, you look official today.
Yeah, because I am an official worker for the NFL.
Like
Officially
literally.
official.
Yeah, I got to put on
Your
my hat afterwards.
inactives for the Los Angeles Rams. No Stetson Bennett, so if something does happen to Stafford's back, as is Blaine's wish, it will be Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, man.
No DJ Humphries, Colby Parkinson, tight end Steve Avila, offensive lineman, and DeJuan Johnson, I believe is how you pronounce the defensive end's name.
DeJuan Johnson? Don't know him.
Are you checking uniforms? Is that what your job is?
Yeah, I'm only the Titans side. So I don't
Better
know.
come correct.
It's amazing. I bet most fans don't know how, in detail the league is about what you can and cannot wear and how high up things are and all those things.
Oh my! Oh yeah, it definitely.
Did you ever get a little?
Oh no, I was never giving money back. Never. I got one time hitting Flacco.
Flacco
in the head. I went in there. I just hate the Ravens, so I just flew in the air and just boom, my headbutt in it.
Whoops!
It might not have been Flacco. It was somebody though.
So how does that work?
It
You
wasn't
get
Flacco,
something.
it was,
you get an envelope in your locker.
Yeah, the next day.
Oh, man.
I mean, literally go. Oh no!
They work
How much?
fast when it comes to money.
Yeah. So So I try not to find guys. I try to forewarn them beforehand.
Titans radio coverage.
Oh, no, here's a good. No, I'm gonna go through a good one.
Okay.
And I didn't find them ever. And I said, the league is gonna they're gonna come down hard on me, and they didn't. They never said anything to me. You know who said something to me? The actual person who was getting fined. I was like, I'd never find you.
Oh, really?
Derrick Henry
That's
for the
funny.
short shirt.
No.
Yes, they said we could see his belly button.
No.
My gosh.
The league never said
horror.
anything to me all season. Never
horror.
wrote him up. He was getting fined. Here's how I knew. He came walking up to me. I was standing next to, I think it was Eddie. So he came up to Eddie and was like, "Hey, Blaine," and just gave me the, "Hey, Blaine."
Oh,
What? What happened here?
passive aggressive.
What
Yeah.
did I do?
I don't want the king
What did
against
I
me.
do, King? It's like, oh my God. So I didn't realize till 4 weeks later, season's over. Like, yeah, we've been finding Derrick Henry the whole time for his jersey short.
His crop top.
Yeah, I was like, what? I said, I didn't never write him up. They said, well, we know, Blaine.
Yeah. Buck used to do,
We know.
Buck used to do that at work, and Allison started finding him. So
What, the crop tops?
Yeah.
Hey, you look good, you look good,
Oh
baby.
man, I was like,
at her.
that's on the trainer, the equipment guy.
bring it sexy back.
I'm trying.
Yeah, that's what Henry said.
Available 24/7. Put Lee Company on your team to tackle your home's heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical problems. Schedule online at leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need. How was that play not reviewed?
Oh, God.
You look at the video, and Amani Hooker is in the video pointing at his elbow and then giving the catch signal.
Coach, please, throw the flag.
On the sideline? I didn't see that.
Yes.
Throw the flag.
He's pounding his elbow and then did the catch sign.
Watch this.
Oh, my
So
God.
you're saying
I know.
Amani Hooker got his extension because he knew the rule.
He knew the rule. Amani Hooker
So
could have.
they gave him an extension.
He could have been a player coach. We'd have seen the Titans with the
my
first down in
God.
midfield.
Blaine, I swear to God, like, it's not the only reason they lost the game.
No.
It's not.
no.
But
it's,
this is a big picture problem.
it's such an easy thing for us to hyperfixate on because that thing
Hyperfixate.
that he gets to the podium with us.
Hyperbolic.
No, I'm not being hyperbolic. This one they screwed up.
It's egregious.
It's malpractice.
Coaching malpractice. It's any and all of those things.
All of them. Listen to me. He gets to the podium after the game, and I think it's Terry McCormick asks him about not challenging the play, and he says, "Well, an elbow does not equal 2 feet."
Yeah.
And
he
then
said he didn't have a foot down.
The internet explodes because an elbow equals 2 feet on that Elikiah Manor catch. Now the officials missed it too, but it's not just about him.
Why
okay?
did they review that though, from
That's
a
a-
league perspective?
I don't have
like
the
just
answer to
on
that question. We didn't get a full report from the head official after the fact. It was not something that was brought to the official's attention after the fact to provide an explanation on. So I don't have the answer to
Gotcha.
for you to that. But like he comes back the next day and he's accountable about it. That's the only thing you can do. It's a no-win proposition if you're the head coach. But this is what I'm talking about. It's not just about him. It's about the people who are there to support him because the head coach is doing 1,000,001 things on the sideline. Like you got a lot of things going on, but it's as declarative as he was after the game about what he thought the rule to be and then having it incorrect that puts so much unnecessary attention on that specific part of it. And if you're the head coach of the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft this year, people are watching. Mm-hmm. You got to be aware of that. And
so his stretch was not doing any stretching.
No.
He was pooping
Wow.
during the freaking game.
down his leg on that one.
Now, do you think he did anything
So
to
graphic.
that person?
Right. So for those that don't know, what's the process for the Titans?
All right, so
Gotcha.
you have eyes in the sky. You've got people in the booth that are there to give you an
That's their
additional
job.
perspective.
That's their job to
Now,
do this.
And I can get you the exact title of this person. His name's Rob Reiterer. He's somebody who Callahan has put in that position. He's been on previous staffs before. He was here under the previous coaching staff as well in a different position. But when you say stretch, that's John Stryker. That's
Right.
the right-hand man to the head coach.
Sounds like a soccer player.
I mean,
Striker.
John Stryker.
But like,
Striker.
this is somebody who is going to be as buttoned up on the details or the loopholes that can be exploited as humanly possible to give you that opportunity to win within the margins.
With the rules.
So not only did the head coach not know after the fact, but the person in the booth told him there was not enough evidence to challenge the play. So that's a two-pronged failure on the process that is supposed to help you if you are going to challenge. They did win a challenge later in the game. God knows Sean Payton was challenging every other play. But that's something that cannot happen. They have to be more buttoned up. Those are the things those are the kind of miscues that will kill you, Blaine. In a game, the margin for error is so thin.
I'm going to ask you a quick question.
Please.
You probably don't know it's an unfair question.
That's all right.
Aaron Glenn cut a player for fumbling in the second or third quarter.
Yeah.
Because he lost the game. Fringe player. What do you think Callahan's doing to this person, if anything?
It's a great question.
I don't have the answer to that question, Blaine, but like, it can't just be, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. Like, our jobs are on the line here.
Another my bad situation.
Enough of the my bad guys on this team. You know what I'm saying?
So
Enough.
you don't think he did anything to this guy?
Listen,
He's still on staff.
I can't answer the question. He's still here.
Well, he should be demoted. And I have the perfect person he should hire. Alan Kirby.
Oh, Kirby's
Kirby
not
Allen,
doing
Kirby.
Attention
anything.
to detail.
He's not mentioning
Attention to
anything.
details. And with the Pepsi, he gets free Pepsi. I think he'll do a fantastic.
So I immediately started thinking when people started talking about Cam was late to get plays.
Yeah.
And I started to think, Was everything just sped up for Callahan in that game? And maybe that's why he didn't have the mental capacity at that point to even worry about that situation.
So he was more nervous than Cam Ward.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, you're asking the question. That's what it
yeah,
really
when I
says.
start to hear these combinations of things, I'm like,
Yes.
Don't look at me like I got to be the bad guy.
You were there.
No, I know. Okay, like, all right. So, quick example, and then Blaine, like, speak to this because you've been on the sideline with coaches. You know how much more. You can read more of that body language than I can. But the thing that pissed me off about it was this: preseason, Buccaneers at Buccaneers, the 4th and 2 play with Brandon Allen where he throws out of the back of the end zone. For Titans fans that watched that preseason game, that was a very specific sequence, right? Titans have a timeout. So we all think, what is Brandon Allen doing? It's a 4th and 2. Why are you throwing it away?
Okay.
Callahan tells us afterwards, Brandon Allen's headset communication is not working. And I called a play that I didn't love. And I heard that and said, but you have a timeout.
Use it.
Slow it down. Give yourself a chance to breathe.
What are they there
got those
for?
at their disposal. What did they not do or give themselves the opportunity to do when they decided to be aggressive in the second half, or excuse me, at the end of the first half of that game, when they got a 6-3 lead on the road and they decide to throw the ball 3 times? They've got 2 timeouts played. They don't give themselves the opportunity to breathe. You have this at your disposal, but that's also, it's again, the head coach is ultimately responsible. But you got to have people around you that can support you that way. If Amani Hooker is telling you to challenge plays because he knows the rules, like, you've got to look to you can't, it's so much more than an X's and O's job. You've got to be able to manage.
got to get more buttoned up. Okay, the issue before the half. Everybody and all God's children know this. You run the ball 3 times, you go into the locker room with a 6-3 lead on the road in game 1 when you won 2 games last year.
Because they had no timeouts, right?
No,
They had 2.
No, you're Denver.
Denver had 2. But by the time you run that third down play,
It will be out.
It'll-
Right. Now
it'll
I'm giving
cash
the
it.
total picture going back.
cash
Yes.
it. Again, egregious coaching malpractice.
Don't make me mad all over again.
Well, I mean, I saved this for the end.
All right. So, how about this, though?
done.
When you're at the game or watching it at home on TV, both of you guys, when you're watching,
I
are
was
you
pissed.
sitting there saying, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was pissed.
Denver's media was saying, what is he doing? What? Not just that, but like Mark Sanchez, I watched the TV copy
Yeah.
back afterwards. Mark Sanchez is not pulling punches on the
Yeah.
criticism because he's been a quarterback
Right.
in those situations.
Well, and when you've been the worst team in the NFL, you're looking for little wins. And
Yes.
that's a little win to go into the
Margins.
locker room
Very
on
important.
the road
Very important.
with the lead.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, because you don't have the talent level. You got to win all those little battles like that.
All right, keys to victory.
Okay.
What do the Titans need to do
Oh, crap.
to get this dub against the LA Rams?
oh, we doing this now?
Yes.
Okay. Don't make dumb decisions as far as the coaching staff goes.
I hate that we have to say
That's
that.
what we got to say.
Brother, an
This is
NFL
where- this is where we
I
are.
was real positive. Now you just threw me into the, oh, my.
Blaine, an NFL head coach got to a podium in front of us this week and said, I misinterpreted the rules, and had to say, I promise you I know the rules. I'm holding onto the table, white-knuckling my way
I'm
through
holding
that
up to the
press
table right now.
conference. So, give yourself – do not hurt yourself that way. You have to be as buttoned up operationally as a coaching staff
Yes.
as possible. We cannot come out of today's game talking about you. That's my big
That's your big thing.
well, because there's other things, but I don't want to take, I got plenty of things that I can pick from, but I don't want to take everything.
What do you think, Blaine?
It's going to sound really minute, but I'm going to just say pay attention to the details, man. That's the only way you have a shot at winning games. You're not the most talented team, so it's even in this game. So you got to do all the little things right to have the shot. I didn't say to win,
Yeah.
to have the shot. That's just where we're at. And so that's why I said, that was with Cam Ward not even making a huge error as far as interception or a fumble. So he's going to have to do something special, and then everybody else is going to have to do their job.
Defensively, shut down the run.
Contain it. I don't want him to have over 50 yards rushing. That's a lot. I mean,
That's
think
choking
Matthew
the life out of a team.
Right.
Yeah, I
Second
think they
and short, third and short, you can't do that with Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford, man, he is probably, nobody will say this, as far as just arm talent and ability, probably one of the best. If he gets to throw one of those no-look passes in this game for like 30 yards, because he can do it. No-look passes. That's like shooting a free throw with your eyes closed.
Bo Campbell, shout out.
Like, how do you do that in a game?
Yeah.
These no-look passes he's throwing, man.
Man,
That's some worldly talent there, man, in a live game.
He is a former number 1 overall pick. This is 16 years apart between these two number 1 overall picks. It's a fun.
His arm talent is exceptional and probably is number 1, even over the great ones.
Blaine, but to your point about like trying to take the run game out of it, because then you can make a team one-dimensional, or try to. And if you can
That's the best way.
And listen, you don't want Stafford to beat you from the pocket because he can't. But if you can give your pass rush as many opportunities to just know that they're teeing off against a 37-year-old quarterback that doesn't move.
And they got to be disciplined in their rush lanes, too, by the way.
For sure. Advantages. Any advantage that you can have, that to piggyback off 2 of your points, that on the defensive side of things. On the discipline side of things, the penalties.
Golly.
13 penalties for 131 yards at Denver last week. They had 133 yards of total offense?
133 total offensive yards, 131 in penalties.
I've never seen a stat like
right?
Me neither, bud.
I was like, wow.
So how realistic is it to expect them to be drastically different in terms of penalties one week to the next?
Different opponent, first game jitters and enthusiasm, emotions.
Because it's not like they had like a 60-yard pass interference
veteran guys too. So it's just, man, they got to cut that. Jeffrey Simmons got to cut that stuff out, man.
You mentioned the rush. So 2 different quarterbacks, obviously. Bo Nix with the ability to escape. Matthew Stafford's going to be a statue, right? So you cage rush a little bit with Bo Nix. You rush a little differently with Stafford because you know where he's going to be in the pocket.
Yeah, I would say so, especially on the speed rushes on the outside. You want to kind of, power rush because you want to keep him in the pocket when you know you're going to get pressure inside. Yep. So I think you want to then force him where he can't see, and you can't do that every time. Like, it's just not going to happen. He's going to get rid of the ball pretty quick. So do you decide to play coverage? And when do you decide to blitz him? Like that, these are the cat and mouse, and you can only get that kind of information if you're just watching tape and film.
Because Denard Wilson's very aggressive, defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to bring it. And I know Greg Williams was that way for you.
Yeah, sometimes I used to be like, why are we blitzing?
Well, but Blaine,
why are we blitzing?
That's a great point because you're a secondary player.
Hey,
you got to really trust your secondary.
This is the worst feeling ever. When everybody looks in you and go, why are we blitzing? But they didn't say why are we blitzing.
Yeah.
They look at you like, hey, it's 3rd and 12. They have no timeouts out, and we're going all out.
Engage 8.
I go timeout. Blake, why you call timeout? We couldn't hear the call. We missed out. But what are we running?
Why are we blitzing?
What are we running?
I said, what are we running?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can you?
That's exactly what that was. Are you sure? I said, you sure you want to run that? He said, oh, we're going to run again. He said, oh, no, I'm going to change it. I said, oh, good. So I turned around and run back out onto the field.
Hey, man.
Before he could change his mind.
Yep. And then he turns around and signals a different blitz.
Players bail coaches out. Players try and bail coaches out so much.
Oh, my God.
Players get heat for that stuff, but I swear to God.
I was like,
some of these big brain decisions.
Man, some of the dudes is looking at it like, oh, man.
Did you ever change the call on the field?
Absolutely. I was like, hey, I couldn't hear.
That's on me. My bad. That's a different kind of my bad guy.
This is my biggest one. You got the call in too late, so I had to go ahead and get people lined up.
Well, and that was evidently an issue with a rookie quarterback making his first start, getting the call in late.
Oh, man.
That's got to improve this week.
Yeah.
Especially when they start doing the no huddle, that's where it affects the defense. So that's when you can really have rain. That's why I said players, quarterbacks, the guys who are making the calls with the linebacker safeties can kind of then start making their own calls. They have a little bit of a different feel of what's going on out there and where players are. And one guy may be exhausted, but he's like, I'm not going off the field. The guy coming in for me is not going to be better than me tired. See, so, no, okay, well, we're going to try to do something where we're not pressing you so much.
Yeah, it's going to have to be
have you drop into the flat.
Yeah.
Femi, when you tired.
It's a big man.
See,
that's going to do a lot there at altitude.
Is a big man.
I just think that there is a plan to beating Matt Stafford. It's heat him up. It's interior pressure, right? They're without both their starting guards.
That's right.
Jeff Simmons go win, right? And there will be. It doesn't have to be Blaine. You can speak to this so much better than the rest of us.
Nah, you got it.
But it's not like it's a complicated thing. Football is just so detailed, right? How buttoned up are you on the details? to beat Matt Stafford, you understand how to do it.
Pressure, yeah.
How you manage that situation also on the offensive side of the ball, the spot that you pick to veer from, okay, super conservative, let's kick a field goal, we'll run the ball on 3rd and 10, get the rookie points on his first drive, right? That's what they did in Denver. They had a 6-3 lead at half. They get super aggressive before the end of the half. They cost themselves the opportunity to go into half with the lead, right? Those are the kind of things that you just want to make sure that they're as buttoned up on the details and don't get into a spot where they feel pressed, because the quarterback has shown, I mean, yeah, if the situation gets out of hand, he'll try to make plays for you, but don't put him in situations where he's going to feel pressed, because he can manage. It feels like the one thing that we know about the rookie quarterback as he starts to build his career here.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. I'm all in, like, yeah, he's the guy. I don't care what he does after the season. He was calm, cool, and collective throughout that entire game, and it was chaos.
He was. Cushenberry said after the game, he said, I didn't see anything different from him. Play one to the last play.
That's a huge compliment for a rookie quarterback.
Right. I think that's, the biggest compliment he could have given him. And Coach Callahan gave him a big compliment, too, by choosing to be aggressive at the 7-yard line with a rookie quarterback against the league's best sack artists.
Stop it.
They didn't hold back.
Stop it. You know how I feel about it. Stop it.
Best sack artist.
One of them.
63 sacks last year.
They were the best sack defense in football, yeah.
Yeah.
And listen,
that's a huge compliment to Cam from the head coach. You're on your 7-yard line with 47 seconds left. They only have 2 timeouts. Let's go.
I'm so mad at you.
And Ridley cannot not run the wrong play. That was Ridley, right?
Oh, yeah. It had to be
the
Ridley.
screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
They never said, but it had to be Ridley.
And listen, don't start pointing fingers after week 1, Blaine. Like, we just get through it together. And I love that Cam Ward's response to the offensive line stuff and the Ridley stuff was, you go out there and try to block him. Like, I appreciate that energy.
Yeah,
he's going to protect his guys.
I appreciate this for own accountability.
They
called a play for you, and you didn't even run it. Where are we in Little Leagues? What are we talking about here? The play was designed for you.
I don't need Ridley blocking on a wide receiver screen.
What are you doing?
My blood pressure's low. My Apple Watch is starting to tell me that I'm getting a little antsy.
All right,
Relax
do the Titans win today?
Right?
Do the Titans win today?
No, stop it.
There's always hope, but
all they need is a
pray.
Chance. Titans radio coverage of just pray. Titans radio coverage of Titans Rams begins momentarily. Taylor Sarser, Coach Mack, Amy Wells, and Rhett Bryan. Later, go Titans.
See y'all.
Titan.